Wow. I had a very interesting weekend at Shoot the Rapids. I had one high where me and Trevor won the doubles 501, but the rest of the weekend was full of some of the worst darts I had ever thrown in my life. Let's get into it. So let's start at the beginning of the weekend. I had my last chance to earn my CDC tour card at Q School Friday morning. I showed up a couple hours before the event started, giving me enough time to get into my hotel room, relax, and get down and throw some darts. When I first got down to the dart hall, I started throwing and I didn't necessarily feel really bad, but I also didn't feel really good. Most of my darts were missing, but I didn't necessarily feel uncomfortable, so I always had the mindset that the darts were gonna start hitting. But then they didn't. For Q School, or the whole weekend. So at Q School, I was able to get past my first match, but I did get very lucky. I started with missing a lot of doubles, but thankfully my opponent was missing some doubles too, so I was able to get past my first match. But once I got to my second round, my opponent was hitting everything and I could not keep up. Now if I was throwing my normal darts, we would have had a really good match where we probably would have went the distance, but my darts were so bad, he just completely whooped me. And this kind of set the pace for the rest of the weekend. So I ended up not getting my tour card, and I'm not going to be able to be on the CDC tour in the 2023 season. But that's okay, because I'm going to use this as motivation to get better this year and make sure that I come back strong for 2024. But let's continue with this weekend. The next event was the singles 501 Friday night, and now this is where the darts started to feel really uncomfortable. During Q School, the darts weren't that great, but I never really felt very uncomfortable during throwing. I just found myself missing a lot. But once the singles 501 started, I started to feel very uncomfortable, which led to a lot of missed darts. This led to a very short night for the singles 501 run, and then I regretfully signed up for the blind draw because I was hanging out with some friends, feeling good an hour before the blind draw was supposed to start. But then by the time it actually did start, a couple hours later, I was so tired and I didn't throw great darts, and then I got to bed pretty late, which led to me not getting the best sleep going into Saturday. Saturday morning, I wake up, not getting the best sleep, and then me and Trevor have doubles 501 first thing in the morning. Our first match was on the stream board, and I threw some of the worst darts of my life. It was streamed, so I will be able to do a match analysis of it, and it will be embarrassing to show, but at the end of the day, all I can do is laugh at it, and I want you guys to see it so you guys can know what's going through my mind even when I'm struggling really bad. And it was really funny because the match was really bad that we started with. Our opponents basically let us win. I think they missed over 12 match darts, which allowed us to stay in the game and then get the win. And then from there, Trevor looked at me and said, you know what? We started rough, but we're gonna go on and win this thing. And I thought it was funny that he said that because I was throwing so bad in the first match and we were just kind of rough all around. But it's funny how it works sometimes. The first match is always the hardest match, and we just kind of knew that we were going to figure out a way to turn it around and keep going. From there, we did manage to put together some really good darts. Trevor was consistently good throughout the whole event. I was up and down throughout the whole thing. But thankfully, when I wasn't throwing my best darts, Trevor was throwing really good. And then when I was throwing well with Trevor, that is when we found ourselves getting some good wins. We managed to make it all the way to the finals, where we played Trevor Watt and Seth Stefano in the finals. And I was so excited to play those guys because I love watching them play. I'm fans of both of them as players, so I always enjoy playing with them in events. Thankfully, Trevor shot really good in the finals because I still wasn't able to bring out good darts, but I was able to hit enough shots at the right time that was able to help Trevor enough to pull us through and get the win. So that was the one highlight of the weekend, and even though we got the win, my darts never felt really good throughout that event. Thankfully, Trevor was throwing good. He was able to carry me through a lot, and I did have some moments where I did have some good shots, but overall, I just did not feel comfortable, and most of my darts were embarrassingly bad. Some of the matches, I had averages under 50. And usually, if I throw under a 70, I'm not happy with myself, let alone throwing under a 50. And that happened in 2 matches. After the doubles, it went on to singles cricket, and from here, I had another streamed match against Trevor where I threw under a 3, with one of those matches only being a 1.9. A 1.9 is the worst game of cricket I've ever thrown ever since I've kept track of stats. And that was on stream, so I will be uploading that on here as well with a match analysis to show you guys how rough my weekend was. And embarrassing. Then after the singles cricket, then we went on to the doubles cricket. At this point, me and Trevor have been playing darts all day. We were both feeling pretty pooped. We were able to get some wins, but we weren't able to pull through. We ended up losing to some hometown friends, so at the end of the day, we weren't too upset about it. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's how my weekend went. I don't know how we were able to get the doubles 501 win. Thank you, Trevor, for carrying me through that event. And even though I'm happy we got the win, my darts were never comfortable during it, and my darts were never fully comfortable at all throughout the whole weekend. Since my darts have felt so bad, the second I left that tournament, I told myself I am not picking up my darts for a week. This will be the longest I've ever gone without throwing darts, but I feel like it's much needed right now because I feel some dartitis kicking in, and the last thing I want to do is overthrow and overthink it. Once I'm done with my break, I'll hop back on here and give you guys an update on how that went. But that's it for this one, guys. That's how my weekend went at Shoot the Rapids. The darts have been flying rough, so hopefully this week off changes things for the better, and then I can come back stronger in March where I have a couple big tournaments lined up. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop it a thumbs up. Also, with that subscribe button, some videos should have popped up somewhere over here. I'll see you guys in the next one, and shoot well.